Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates, and the most exciting video I have made for a very long time. Basically as close as getting a Battlefront 3 announcement as we can possibly get right now, because Respawn just announced that they are working on 3 new Star Wars games. We all kind of knew a Fallen Order sequel was happening, but my god, that's not all. They are working on 3 games, and one of them I think you guys are gonna get extremely excited for, because it's not confirmed to be Battlefront, and it's probably not gonna be called Battlefront, but it's gonna scratch the same exact itch. So I really didn't expect this, because first of all, we already know about 5 confirmed Star Wars games currently in the works. Star Wars Hunters, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, the KOTOR remake, the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game, and Star Wars Eclipse. And that's still a pretty good roster already. Plus, we kind of knew again, like I said, about the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel. But just a few moments ago, EA, together with Lucasfilm Games and Respawn, announced the following: that they are working on 3 brand new Star Wars games. First, a new game in the Star Wars Jedi franchise. So basically a Fallen Order sequel, but it will probably not be called Fallen Order. Secondly, a new Star Wars FPS from Peter Hirschman, and I will get back to that in a second. And lastly, a strategy game through a publishing collaboration between Respawn and Bit Reactor. But I want to stop here for a moment and spend most of the time here on this FPS from Peter Hirschman before I actually go and read the entire announcement. If you guys don't know who Peter Hirschman is, he was actually the executive producer and VP of production and supervising producer on the original Battlefront 1 and 2 games over at LucasArts in 2004 and 2005. So this guy knows what Star Wars Battlefront is all about. I don't think this is gonna be a straight up Battlefront game. I think that franchise is fairly dead. But for me, what I've been looking for, other than all the already known announcements, was some type of competitive or chill Star Wars shooter, and that seems to be exactly what we are getting. But before we talk about all the details, let's actually read the announcement. Redwood City, California, January 25th. Electronic Arts and Lucasfilm Games are joining forces to continue delivering all new world-class gaming experiences set within the beloved Star Wars galaxy. Respawn Entertainment, best known for their work on Apex Legends, Titanfall, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, is leading the development and production of these new projects. Vince Zampella, Group GM and founder of Respawn, will oversee this new phase of EA's relationship with Lucasfilm, building on Respawn's award-winning history in game development and expertise in telling compelling Star Wars stories. Game director Stig Asmussen and his team at the studio are already working on the next game in the action-adventure Star Wars Jedi series, and are joined by 2 new teams working to deliver additional unique Star Wars gameplay experiences across multiple genres. Leading the development of Respawn's all-new first-person shooter game is Peter Hirschman, game director at Respawn, who has a long and accomplished history with the Star Wars franchise. The 3rd title is a Star Wars strategy game developed through a production collaboration with the newly formed studio Bit Reactor, helmed by games industry veteran Greg Forsts. Respawn will produce the new Star Wars strategy game, while Bit Reactor leads the development of the title. We are excited to continue working with the superbly talented developers at Respawn, said Douglas Reilly, VP Lucasfilm Games. They have demonstrated excellence in telling epic Star Wars stories along with the best-in-class gameplay across different genres, and we are looking forward to bringing more amazing experiences to the galaxy far, far away. Building on the previous success of our EA relationship, this new collaboration highlights the trust and mutual respect shared between the world-class teams at EA, Respawn, and Lucasfilm Games, said Sean, SVP Walt Disney Games. Fostered by the expertise and passion within each team, we will create thrilling original games for diverse audiences across the Star Wars galaxy. Working with Lucasfilm Games on a new FPS in the Star Wars galaxy is a dream come true for me, as this is the story I have always wanted to tell, said Peter Hirschman, game director at Respawn. Peter previously worked as VP of development at LucasArts and was the executive producer on the original Star Wars Battlefront games. Hirschman and the team at Respawn have just begun work on the title. Work has already begun on all 3 of these projects, and Respawn are looking for talent to to join the teams. Additional information on available job openings can be found at Respawn Careers. We are huge fans of Star Wars here at Respawn, and we're thrilled to work with Lucasfilm Games on new titles that we have wanted to make for years, said Zampella. If you want to make great Star Wars games, you should come join us on our journey. So this is just amazing news. Honestly, out of the EA games, Battlefront has been fantastic, but DICE has had their issues lately, and you know how many cancelled games there has been. But out of all of EA's studios, Respawn has been the most stable one, I guess you could say. They produced 2 really good Titanfall games. Sure, they might not have gained the popularity or sales they could have, but the game per se, really good. Fallen Order, really good. And then we of course have games like Apex Legends, which obviously is doing really well in its own franchise. So it's to hear that Respawn are working on all of these games, including a first-person shooter, makes me extremely stoked and happy for the future of Star Wars games, as that means we have 8 Star Wars games currently in the works. Holy shit, I never thought I'd say that 1 or 2 years ago when everything just sounded so dead for Star Wars games. But we have 8 legit confirmed in the works Star Wars games, so even if one of them gets cancelled, we still have 7 Star Wars games in the works. And to hear that the original VP of the Star Wars Battlefront games is basically leading the development on this new FPS game is fantastic. So I also want to answer the question that I know a lot of you will say: is this a Star Wars Battlefront 3 or a Star Wars Battlefront spin-off? It could be, but they do say it's a new FPS in the Star Wars galaxy, and they also call it an FPS shooter. I don't think that Battlefront has really been classified that, since you've always been able to play in third person. So I kind of think that this would probably align more with something like Republic Commando or something like that, but I do think it will also be more focused on multiplayer probably. They don't specifically say that here, but making a shooter in 2022 and not having multiplayer would, in my opinion, be extremely stupid. So I've got very high hopes for this. I don't think it's gonna be like, you know, with all heroes and heroes versus villains like Battlefront, but it might just be focused on the shooting part. Whether it's gonna be like a Destiny-like looter and shooter game, I don't think so. Just based on this description, the other games currently being worked on, I would guess something like Republic Commando, or just a small-scale focused FPS shooter with maybe 5 or 10 people on each team. So maybe not a Battlefront experience, but at least a shooter experience, which is something I personally have really hoped for, because shooter games is what I play the most, and I know there's not a lot of them in the Star Wars universe. So I'm extremely excited for this. And obviously we have the strategy game as well, which I think is fantastic news for all of you who love strategy games. I have played a lot of strategy games in the past, like, you know, Battle for Middle-earth and similarly, but I didn't play Empire at War, a game that I know a lot of you really enjoyed, and I know a lot of you want an Empire at War sequel. I don't think this might be that sequel, but at least it will be a modern strategy game in the Star Wars universe, which hopefully will cater to that audience. So at the moment we really have everything: single player story games, open world games, shooters, mobile games, and strategy games. They are really catering to most parts of the gaming sphere. Yeah, I am just so stoked for these news, and the fact that Vince Zampella is heading all of these projects, and Respawn, of course, it gives me a lot of hope, because they have done, out of all the studios and all the issues in the game industry right now, Respawn has really delivered. So I am very happy about this news, and I would love to hear in the comments below what you guys make of these announcements. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Star Wars gaming. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.